$6.5 million. That's how much Scott Speed says Red Bull Racing still owes him. And he's suing his longtime owners for breach of contract with his release late last year. In our feature of the week, Randy Pemberton sat down with Scott at his Mount Holly home to talk about the end of a 7-year relationship.
When did you get the inclination that you were going to be sitting here today and really not have a ride?
I guess after the last race in Homestead, when we got the fax that Red Bull's going to terminate our contract.
It was a fax.
Yeah, it was a fax. It was a very big surprise that they're going to stop everything and we're going to be basically headed to court over it. It's certainly not the best thing for either one of us. They had a position where they had one driver basically, in limbo, me, waiting on, the status of Brian. They weren't able to commit to me either way, and they basically kept me tied down with my, hands tied behind my back for the entire season until they were sure which way they wanted to go. It wasn't fair for us, it didn't give me an opportunity to go find anything for this year. You obviously are starting really late. There just wasn't anything left for this year. We're going to do a lot of sitting around and waiting.
Is it your contention that your contract was extended through 2011 or 12?
Well, it was, for sure it was extended. Lawsuits in this state, all become public knowledge as soon as things are submitted, so everyone will be able to read it for themselves. I certainly feel confident about it, at least.
You got some other bad news almost like at the same time with your mom. I mean, boy, how tough could that be?
Yeah, same day. Found out my mom had cancer, and obviously it was a big surprise. My mom was healthy as a horse, and that's been a process. It's been difficult. Me living here in North Carolina and my family being in California. It's not been easy, but it certainly put things in perspective for me. I was really down on the racing thing, and then when this comes along, it's like, wow, you really realize what's important in life.
You've never really had anybody sort of manage your career. How have you been able to deal with that, having to take on another hat now?
That's very true. I mean, we've never had a guy looking for sponsorship, looking for endorsement deals or anything like that necessarily, because Red Bull is I've been under that umbrella my whole racing career. I've certainly built a worldwide name under this brand, and where I go from that is going to be an important decision. I can't just necessarily jump on the first small sponsor that comes around. The first thing we need to sort of tie up is what Scott Speed Incorporated per se is going to do with management. How am I going to land relationship with a big sponsor that we can associate ourselves with and we can move forward with. We'll have the time to pick a great place to bring that to. Where we can run competitively, whether it's in the Nationwide or the truck or in Cup, to stay in the sort of NASCAR family. You start winning races, you don't have any more problems.
Where do you stand right now, being a race car driver, and say, I don't care what anybody says, I know I can still kick ass?
I have obviously a lot of fire in my belly to go out there and prove, the success I've had in this sport's not a fluke, and in that sense, it's kind of, exciting.
Would you even look at going back to open wheel racing?
I'm not done proving to myself really that I can adapt to stock car racing, because it is very different. I know I can race open wheels. I've already probably had the most success I will in my entire racing career, having raced in Formula One. I already know how to do that. I'm supposed to be good at that. This is still something that I'm trying to prove to not only myself, but everyone else as well.
What do you think you take away from the last few years?
I got the opportunity to do something, really big in my motorsports career. If I never were getting another stock car again, it's still one of those things where I race in Formula One and I race in the Daytona 500. And I got to learn and hone my racing ability to something that's totally foreign to what I've, grown up doing, and that I'm certainly proud of.